Hi everyone, this tutorial is a Portfolio Submission 3 help session for teacher education majors at Oklahoma State University. And the first thing I've done, as you can see, is logged into my account, and I have gone to my elementary education portfolio template. It does say elementary education portfolio template, but this help session applies to all elementary and secondary education majors. And so the first thing I'm going to do is open up this checklist. Now I'm going to toggle back and forth between the checklist and the live text template as we go through this help session. Okay, let's go through a few things that you've already done. In Submission 1, you did an introduction page. If there's anything to update at this point, go ahead and do that for Submission 3. You also want to go back to your Submission 1 documents and Submission 2 documents and make sure they remain in your portfolio in the designated locations. Also, if you made a statement like you would include something when you received it, maybe like your OGET score or an evaluation, be sure to include that at this point because this is your last portfolio submission. Okay, the next thing is your OSAT score report and OPTI score report if available. By the time this is due, you may not have these passing scores yet, so note that in the designated area that you would include those when you receive them. Okay, and things you've already done in submissions 1 and 2, you're going to have a current transcript / grade report showing this semester's enrollment. And so you know how to do that at this point, but just go to SIS and copy and paste. That's the easiest way to do that. The next thing is a current updated resume. This is going to be really important at this point because you are seeking positions. So make sure that that resume looks really good, the formatting is good, that you're consistent with your headings, and that you have all your student teaching experience on there. It is recommended that you keep that within a page if possible. So anyway, that's the current resume. The next thing is going to be the updated field placement record form. Let me go back to live text and just remind you that that has its own page within your template. So of course you would put your student teaching experience there, and again any field experience, community field experience that you have. Okay, we're moving down our checklist. The next thing is the evaluations from university supervisors, cooperating teachers, and peers. By the time that Submission 3 is due, you should have at least one from your university supervisor and one from your cooperating teacher. So you would upload those to the designated area, which is under Submission 3 and in this area. If for some reason you did not receive these the way you think you should have, you can contact Judy Nalen with your CWID and tell her that you'd like to request your evaluations, and she should be able to assist you if we have them. Okay, let me go back to the checklist. The next thing says release form for video, photos, and student work. You addressed the issue of confidentiality in Submission 2, but just remember that if you include any videos, photos, or student work in your portfolio as an artifact, that you do need their consent and the parents' or guardians' consent if they're under 18. So you wouldn't upload these release forms to your account. However, you would need to make sure you have those on file if anybody asked you about those. Okay, the next thing is the second teaching philosophy, and it says see rubrics for standards. I'm going to go back to the template here, and under teaching philosophy statements, you already did your first teaching philosophy, and so now you're working on your second teaching philosophy. And if we go to this link that's within your account, and then we go to professional education, and then portfolio, and then I'm going to select my program area, and if I scroll down, it's a lot of scrolling and I'm sorry about that. Okay, I've scrolled too far. Let me go back up here. I should have just chosen Submission 3 And then, let me scroll from here. Here's your second teaching philosophy outline. And you'll notice it's pretty similar to the first teaching philosophy outline, but it has things like what more did you learn about professional responsibilities during your internship, and has a lot of questions that really address your internship. So look at this outline when you're doing your second teaching philosophy. Again, a lot of things will remain the same, but we do want you to include your internship and how maybe those things have affected your philosophy and how those things have grown you as a professional. Okay, we're going back to the checklist. Okay, a couple more things. The final artifact list, you're going to indicate new artifacts on the list with a 3. And let's look at that for a second. So artifact list. Okay, so whatever your artifact is for leadership and whatever core value, competencies this artifact addresses, you would indicate those with a 3 in one of these boxes here. And then last but not least is the final selection of artifacts with accompanying caption pages indicating competence in the 5 OSU core values and the 15 Oklahoma general competencies. So remember, by the end of submission 3, you need to have addressed all of those core values, which really it's 10 if you include the 10 sub-values of academic and professional roles, and also the 15 Oklahoma general competencies. So at this point, the only artifacts you have to have are artifacts for leadership and also artifacts for service orientation and community outreach. Now, depending on your individual situation, in order to address all 15 Oklahoma competencies, you might need to add another artifact, but that just depends on your individual situation. If you're able to address all 15 competencies with just 2 more artifacts, then you're going to be fine. So just a reminder, let's go back to leadership, which is one of the artifacts you need to address in submission 3. You would just fill out this caption page for that artifact, and remember the reflection is no longer required, so take that out. You don't need to address that, but you do need to address these other 3 areas, and then of course you would include your artifact in this area here. And then you would do the same for service orientation and community outreach. Let's go back to our checklist, make sure we've addressed everything. Okay, I believe that we have. And of course, when you're ready to send that for review, you would do as you've done in submissions 1 and 2 and click send for review. Type in your program area. Now, I always say this, you want to verify that you have sent it by looking at the reviews tab and the send items, which shows you what you sent, who you sent it to, and when you sent it. That's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, please